Time for another Out and About with Jamie Grout. And this time we'll be talking with Jeff Holschuh of Advantage Credit Union about financial scams. Boy, there's a lot of them out there, and we'll discuss that. Plus, we'll talk about credit card debt and how you can overcome that. They help me with mine, and they'll help you with yours. But first of all, a word from our sponsors, including Willowbrook on the Park Center campus. Make your loved one's day by enrolling them in Willowbrook, a Wesley Life Adult Day Center. Willowbrook on the Park Center campus provides a welcoming and stimulating environment that allows participants to maintain independence while receiving support and encouragement. Social engagement, companionship, and enriching opportunities are provided to give participants a purposeful and fulfilling day. Willowbrook's person-centered care includes exercise focused on total health and well-being, and programming that includes music therapy, pet therapy, guest speakers, outings, and much more. If you'd like to learn more about Willowbrook, call 641-791-4500 to arrange a tour at Willowbrook. My sister was involved in Willowbrook, being a member of the Park Center community, and she enjoyed it, and I'm sure your loved ones will too. And also the Mercy One Newton Gala that's coming up on Saturday, April 26th. I'm going to be the auctioneer for that. They have many fundraisers going on during that event, including a live and silent auction. They're going to have a dessert auction too, and Mark Allen will be the MC for that. He, of course, having done sports on WHO radio for a number of years with Van and Bonnie. He's now a financial counselor. They're going to have a 50-50 drawing and a wine toss too. Tickets are $60 per person and available by calling 641-787-3179. It's the big Mercy One Newton Gala. They're trying to raise funds for the emergency room, which needs a big renovation there at Mercy One Newton. Boy, they do a good job there in spite of the facility situation they have at the emergency room. And also by Lynette Baker, Halo Branded Solutions. It's time for another edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout, and this time around we're going to be talking with a guy who I've learned so much from over the years at the radio station, because he comes in and does a monthly report called Your Financial Advantage, and his name is Jeff Holschuh. And what is your title at Advantage Credit Union, Jeff?
Well, it varies from day to day. So some would say I'm in charge of marketing. Some would say business development, VP of member engagement, kind of just all things.
Well, you're like a financial coach, though, aren't you?
That's right. Yes, I'm also a financial coach. Yep, through the Iowa Credit Union League.
And I got to say, testimonial, and I mentioned this at Rotary the other day, you kind of helped me out of a slight financial bind. It wasn't as bad as some people would have been in, but it was to the point where I was trying to figure some things out, and you really helped me out, and I know you've helped others out too. But more recently, I got into a bit of a scam, and it was because I was having my taxes done. And I needed my 1099 form because I'm claiming Social Security. And I thought I was on a Social Security site, but I get the buzzer on that one. I did not. It was what, Just Ask or something like that. I think that was the name of it. And Little Red was busy doing her thing. I should have referred to her. And they wanted my debit card information. And it said a refundable $5 charge for this.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And I was lured into it. And I went ahead and signed up, and come to find out, not only did they charge me the $5, but they charged me $60 on top of that.
Yes.
So I had to cancel my debit card, and for some reason, they must have been seen as legitimate or something, because I was still charged the $60 plus $5. But I was scammed, and so I am assuming my new debit card is in the mail.
Yes.
Pain in the Batinsky, for sure. But there's all kinds of scams out there. You've talked at Rotary about it. So let's run down the list of scams out there that people really need to watch out for.
Sure. I mean, first and foremost, the thing that we always see a lot of, and based on this time of year, and actually specifically the month of February, we always talk about the romance scams. So those are things that, unfortunately, a lot of people fall into, or a dating scam or something like that, where they meet somebody online, they develop a relationship with this person, and they exchange, pleasantries and whatnot, and in a very short time, that person finds a way to kind of be constantly in touch with you, or seems kind of like an accelerated relationship. And so a lot of people kind of fall hard and they fall very fast, and then something comes up, an emergency or something just happens to occur, and now this other person needs help. Could be, we've seen some that claim that they're in the military or they're at a job site or something like that, and they just need a little bit to get by or whatever. And then the person ends up conning you into sending them some money, or in the form of gift cards or things like that. Those are the things that the people fall for. And
It seems like this happens to a lot of elderly folks.
it does specifically happen to a lot of elderly folks. And the unfortunate part of it is that we try to, as much as we can, educate the public about these things that are happening, but it just takes some time. But as it pertains to the elderly, they don't particularly want to share with their other family members that they're either in a relationship or that they've been scammed. So there's a lot of shame that kind of goes in that. And so rather than let someone know, they'll either continue to just go for the scam and continue to send that person money, or they'll maybe end the scam, but it's after they've already sent a lot of money out the door.
Yeah. How sad. And you recently talked about card readers being installed at convenience stores.
Yeah. So the technology is always changing. And so particularly when it comes to gas pumps, we absolutely, shameless promotion, but at the credit union, our debit cards are all tap to pay. So they all are the wireless contactless payment. And so what you're seeing at gas stations now is that those gas stations that have not advanced in technology still have the debit card readers on the pumps, to where you stick your debit card in and it pulls the information off the magnetic strip on the back. Well, scammers have caught on to that technology, and so what they'll do is they'll put a little reader that goes over their reader, and it looks like one piece of equipment, right? And so what happens is then when you stick your debit card in and you think you're paying for gas, you are paying for gas, but then you're also, that information is getting read off of your card. And then what they do is they have a person that's either nearby or very close, where they're Bluetoothing that information over to software that they have, and they just simply duplicate your card and then go use it as they please elsewhere.
So if you don't have a debit card or a credit card that doesn't have the chip, go get one that does?
I would absolutely encourage anybody to get tap to pay. Again, we at the credit union have it on both our debit cards and our credit cards. That seems to be the way that technology is going. But if your financial institution does not offer that, then I would absolutely not encourage anyone to pay at the pump. I would always encourage someone to go inside and pay directly at the terminal and prepay for your gas, because the chance of someone messing inside at a payment terminal inside a convenience store is pretty rare. It does happen, but not at any reputable gas stations, if that makes sense.
All right. What other scams, Jeff?
Let's see here. There's always the... recently, I've heard of the Bitcoin scam, where the investment scam, where what's happening with those is you're getting a phone call and someone is promising you 10 times on your money, or that they can make you rich, right? And so what they encourage you to do is do a money transfer to them, often through creating a crypto wallet or something like that, where you're transferring money to them, and in return, they are supposed to supply you with that Bitcoin investment. Just a classic get-rich-quick scheme. And what happens is, in that cryptocurrency arena, those are, for the most part, untraceable. So once that money is gone, there's no way that anybody can ever track it down.
It is gone.
It is gone. And so, again, it's a lot of, unfortunately, older adults that are falling for this kind of stuff. So that's another one that's happening.
You know, there's a movie out, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was with June Squibb, who is in her 90s. I don't know if you've heard about it or seen it. And it was with, the guy that played Shaft. What is his name? I can't remember.
I only know Shaft as Samuel L. Jackson, so that would have been the other version.
No, this was the other guy. Anyway, it was a great movie. And she got scammed because someone called her up on the phone impersonating her grandson.
Oh, absolutely. The grandkid scam.
Yeah,
Yep.
that he was in trouble and he had been arrested and he needed money to get bailed out. And she took all her money that she had that was under her mattress and had to bail him out. Well, she got scammed.
Yes.
And at first, of course, she didn't want to admit it to her family because she was so embarrassed about it. But by golly, she went out there and she got it.
Okay.
And it was a good movie. It really was. But that sounds like it's fairly common too, Jeff.
Yeah, that was one that actually a couple years ago we had something in West Des Moines. We went to a credit union kind of seminar thing specifically relating to fraud. And I believe there was a grandparent scam that happened where the grandparent got a phone call that said, your grandson is in jail and they're down in Mexico and on vacation and they need to get out. He needs to get out. And I believe the person went to the financial institution. The financial institution said, this doesn't sound right. It sounds like a classic grandparent scam and whatnot, because the person was fully prepared to take out the money and go ahead and pay it, do whatever they needed to do. And what a lot of these scams do is they focus on panic and getting you to take action quickly. And so, finally someone had been able to get them in touch with the police department. And, no matter how many times sometimes people hear that they're being scammed, they don't necessarily believe it, even sometimes when the police tell you.
Well, they don't want to admit it.
Right.
It's a matter of pride.
And ultimately, this person was convinced, the grandparent was convinced to call their son or daughter and ask about it. And the student was in middle school in one of the Des Moines suburbs, had been all day. And it was not real.
How sad.
But those are the type of things that happen.
Any other scams you could think of? We can transition to another topic.
Oh, no. I guess one that happened recently was the check washing scam. So that was reported by the Jasper County Sheriff's Department, where there were some individuals who, the old catch me if you can, if you're talking about the movies, right?
Yeah.
So believe it or not, that actually just happened and happened locally to where the person, the consumer, whoever the homeowner went out to go pay their bills, and they went out to their mailbox and they put it in the mailbox and they stuck the red flag up. And so what happened was the people involved in the scam came by, saw the red flag, opened the mailbox, looked through it, took the check out, washed the check, and went somewhere else and cashed the check.
What do you mean washing the check?
So washing the check is a method that people use to remove certain information. So instead of it being made payable to Black Hills Energy, they would make it payable to Jamie Grout.
Oh, okay.
And then they would go try to cash that check somewhere else.
Ah, okay.
And so it's very rare that it really happens anymore, because let's be honest, not a whole lot of people use checks.
Sure.
But it can occur.
Do you see much of bogus dollar bills or $20, $50s, $100 bills anymore?
No, not so much on counterfeit money. That technology is advanced.
I see.
Pretty good in the realm of financial institutions, so to speak. We use some pretty good technology over there. We have some machines that actually count the money right as you're putting it in, and it actually checks it like 40 different ways for counterfeit. So,
any other scams you can think of? Because I thought of another topic we could talk about.
No, not at the top of my head.
Okay, well, you, off the cuff, I've got to give you credit, spoke at Rotary the other day about credit cards.
Yes.
So let's talk about credit cards. And one of the things, and I mentioned at the top of the podcast, that you kind of helped me out. I had a credit card I was using that had high interest, and then I got to say, you were being pretty humble talking. You didn't talk about it till I brought it up about your low interest credit card you have at Advantage Credit Union, and I use it sparingly. Now, since I was scammed and didn't have my debit card, I've been using my credit card this week for stuff like gas and groceries and things like that. Other than that, I've been using cash, good old-fashioned cash.
Hey,
you know, it works just
you
like
and my dad, right?
Yeah, there you go, there you go. But you do have that available, and people have to watch it with the credit card because it's very easy to slide that plastic, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So they just came out with some numbers for 2024, and as far as generational breakdowns, what generations have approximately different amounts of credit card debt. So they said that Gen Z, so I have a 19-year-old son, so he is in college. So this would be in that just graduated high school into the I'm in college or just graduated college kind of phase of life. Those people average about $1,700 in credit card debt. Then you move into the millennials, which I am on the very old side of the millennials, because the millennials, I believe, started in 1981, and by golly, that's where I'm from. So that generation has about $4,500 in credit card debt. Then you moved into the Gen Xers, so people like my brother's age, so probably mid to late 40s into their 50s. Have an average of around $7,700 worth of credit card debt, and I believe the boomer generation kind of slides back down then. So you're
Yay, boomers!
Right around 4,000, I believe. And then the silent generation, which unfortunately we lose more and more of them every day, but they are right around $3,000 or $3,100 in credit card debt. So
Iowa is actually pretty good about credit card debt compared to many other states,
That is correct. So Iowa actually ranks the lowest in the United States for average household credit card debt. So the statistics that I said on these generations and how much credit card debt they have, of course, that's nationwide. So in specifically Iowa, they were saying that it is the lowest in the United States with an average of $5,227 per household. Credit card debt. And Alaska is actually the highest.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and that really surprised me.
Yeah, you'd think it would be California, New York, or something like that. No, it is Alaska.
But their cost of living is real high,
Cost of living
too.
is high. And I think Hawaii is also up on that list as well.
Yeah.
They kind of always go back and forth.
The cost of living there is pretty high also. Now, I have to ask you about credit rating, because I had a credit rating that was almost 800, and I still have on one of mine an excellent credit rating, but recently one slipped to good, and I don't really understand why it would have done that, because I pay my bills on time, as far as I know. I just paid off one of my vehicles, which is really good. And could that be a reason why my credit rating? Really?
Yeah, because then one of your trade lines would have closed.
Oh, okay.
So credit scores look at multiple things. So they look at your credit history. So how long have you had credit for? What types of credit do you have?
Well, see, that confuses me. Okay, keep going. I don't mean to interrupt.
So yes, what types of credit you have, how long you've had the credit, are you making your payments on time, and things like that. But yes, actually, paying something off, it would remove it from that being a factor of a type of credit. So you no longer, if you only had one vehicle loan, you no longer have that as a type of credit. So therefore, it could negatively affect your credit score.
So I need to go buy a car.
You know, they have the craziest ways of like determining who gets what. I've said this multiple times. Some people have a good credit score and they don't deserve it. Some people have a bad credit score and they don't deserve it. You know, unfortunately, we kind of live in a world where they say no credit is bad, but I'd say no credit is better than bad credit. And so, you know, those companies, the Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, I mean, they're all doing the same thing, right?
Sure.
So trying to help people build their credit, right? But ultimately, it's kind of a game a little bit sometimes.
Well, you see all people from all walks of life come in your door at Advantage Credit Union. And
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And they have all kinds of debt issues, from bad debt to slight debt. What are some ways that people can stay out of debt?
So the credit union is a judgment-free zone. And I think it's something that makes that financial institution very specifically unique.
Yeah, and I just want to say I was a board member for a time of the credit union. And folks, I'm not just saying this, and you know, in the interest of clarity, Advantage Credit Union is a sponsor of the podcast. But having, as soon as I came to Newton, my sister encouraged me to join a credit union. And it's because, honestly, they're big-hearted people, and they do care, and they are membership owned.
That's right.
And they're easy to work with, and so, you know, they do everything they can to try to help people out.
Right. So kind of on the top level, banks and credit unions are kind of structured differently. We both offer savings accounts, checking accounts, all that kind of stuff. What it comes down is to ownership and how they're run. So a bank is a for-profit organization, which essentially means at the end of the day, the people who own the bank are the ones who receive the profits from the bank. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But credit unions function a little bit differently. So credit unions do not have private owners that own the bank. Instead, our members own the credit union. And so we don't have these salaries or these financial expectations, so to speak. We are a not-for-profit. And so what that allows us to do is it really allows us to serve the entire financial spectrum. So for us, it doesn't matter if you walk in the door and you have $25, or if you walk in the door and you have $250,000, you have the same weight. You both carry one vote as far as membership, because our board is run by a volunteer board of directors, and our members are the ones who vote for those board of directors. And so we really do try to treat everyone the exact same. I say that some of us, we all take a trip to Debt City. Some of us bring a tent, and some of us bring a double wide, right? But the whole point is to empower people and get them financially moving forward. And what your vision of financial success could mean could be different than the next guy or girl behind you in line. And so how can we make sure that we are facilitating those changes and helping you move along that path, you know? And one of the big things that we always talk about is saving for an emergency. You know, a lot of, statistic that I had shared in a former presentation was that 23% of Americans have $20,000 or more in credit card debt. 23% of Americans. And then also back in 2022, 44% of Americans could not cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing it from somebody or going into debt. And now in 2024, that number jumped up to 59%.
And that's why you have, I can't remember the name of it, but it's kind of a rainy day fund.
We do. It's called a Life Happens account. Yep. So we encourage our members to use that. It pays 1% interest on the first $2,000. $2,000 is a good kind of emergency fund. We used to say $1,000 was, but realistically, with the cost of insurance and everything going up, $2,000 is really what we would shoot for. Because then when, quote unquote, life happens, right? The car breaks down, the hot water heater goes out, something like that. Those things in that emergency fund are meant to help you cover that.
And as a suggestion on my own part, and I don't know if you would concur with this, but I think you would, I am 66 now, and when I applied for Social Security and the checks started coming in, I said, $50, and maybe I could do even more than that, of that automatically goes into that rainy day fund. And, and if you have a check, paycheck, or whatever the case might be, I would suggest that you have some of that sent to your rainy day fund.
Yeah, the fun name for that is automatic ACH distributions, but the better way to say it is when you get paid, you pay yourself first, right?
Right.
So you're going to make sure that when that deposit comes in, automatically a certain dollar amount gets put over to a separate account. And that way it really trains you to save, and it trains you to put it in someplace that you're not going to immediately have access to it. You know, we don't restrict our members from having access to any of their accounts, but if it's not linked to your debit card, or if it's in a separate savings account where you have to manually go in and transfer that every time, it's by its very nature is going to help you save, because you don't have the ability to just dip into it all the time.
Okay. I want to give you a chance to plug some things you have coming up. I see on your sign out front you have Shred Day coming up. You're going to be at the farmers market.
Yes.
I know you give out scholarships. You do.
Yep. So
A's
that pay. Yeah, we got a lot of things.
Yeah, go ahead and plug away.
So first and foremost, our annual meeting is coming up. That's coming up on Saturday, April 26th. So that is a free meeting for all of our members.
All members invited.
All members invited. We just ask that you RSVP by the 11th so that we can account for you to have food. We have a hot breakfast. It's at the American Legion. We'll vote on the board of directors and kind of do that. That'll be our 87th. So
wow, long time.
Been around for a long time. So it'll be our 87th annual meeting.
I remember when it was when I was a kid, it was like Maytag Employees Credit Union, and then it became Tri-County.
Tri-County.
And now
and then we ended up serving more than just 3 counties, so we had to change our name.
Okay.
And rather than say 5 counties, we just changed it all together. But so we've got the annual meeting coming up. Then we have Shred Day will be coming up.
That's in June.
That is Saturday, June 21st. So a very nice community service that we've offered to the members, or sorry, to the public. It's free and open to the public, where we have a shred truck show up, and people can bring all their confidential documents, and we will take them out of the car.
You're not talking about Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Although that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Bring Bebop and Rocksteady with you, and we'll be all right. But yeah, we have the truck there. We'll unload it, put it right in the bin. You can watch it go over to the truck. We've been doing that for at least 3 to 4 years now. It is free and open to the public. We do take donations for that, and we we always do have a local nonprofit that will go to. Last year it was the Newton Community School District with their lunch program. And so this year we haven't announced who it is yet, but that'll be coming up soon. A's That Pay, yes, we do that twice a year. That's for students kindergarten through 8th grade. What we do is we really are advocates for teaching people to save young, when they're young, and save often. Because kids need another interaction with money that's besides their birthday and Christmas. And so doing well in school is kind of like doing well at work, right? You do well at work, you get a paycheck. You do well at school, you'll get A's That Pay. So what we do with that is we pay our students $4 for every A, $2 for every B. Don't worry about the grading scale. We'll figure it out. And students can earn up to $20 a semester, $40 a year. So those report cards will be coming out in June, and then we will give the parents and everybody else until the end of July to come in and get those all taken care of.
Sounds good. Our interview guest today on Out and About with Jamie Grout has been Jeff Holschuh from Advantage Credit Union. How can people contact you?
So we are online at acuiowa.org. You can also call us at 641-792-5660. Text us. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're everywhere.
Don't get scammed and watch using those credit cards.
That's right.
If you need some advice, get a hold of Jeff or any one of the financial professionals at Advantage Credit Union. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout. This podcast also sponsored by Newton Clinic. See a doctor today. Book your same-day appointment. At Newton Clinic, they offer same-day appointments to ensure you receive timely medical attention when you need it most. Call or text and schedule your appointment today at 641-792-2112. That's Newton Clinic, 641-792-2112. Also by Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. They're so community involved. And they posted on Facebook that the other day, with all the amazing support from their customers and the great work from their staff, Ryan was able to present to the Newton Youth Baseball Vice President, Mindy Noel, a check for $750 to sponsor the program. It makes him so proud to be able to do this. And he says it wasn't that many years ago that he was on those dusty fields, and he absolutely loved it. He loves the community, and so does the staff at Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. Also sponsored by Lynn Donahue and the gang at Jersey Freeze in Monroe, sponsoring Out and About with Jamie Grout trivia that we do every weekend. I do that every Sunday, and they give away those certificates. And you ought to play Out and About with Jamie Grout trivia, because we not only give out those certificates, we give out a $25 preloaded Visa gift card from Advantage Credit Union, and also a $10 gift card from another one of our sponsors, Westside Java Coffee Bar. They always have those tasty, delicious treats that you can get all throughout the day in downtown Newton. And if you can't go inside the Westside Java Coffee Bar, use their easy drive up that they have there too. Also sponsored by Free Classified Weekly. Thanks for joining us on Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast.
If you've been fouled by your financial institution, then blow the whistle. This is Coach Miles from Advantage Credit Union with some one-on-one for a financial victory. At ACU, you're treated like you own the team because you actually do. Advantage Credit Union offers great deposit rates. You actually earn interest instead of paying a monthly fee at you know where.
Big shot, good!
If you live or work in Jasper County or 18 other central Iowa counties, you are eligible to join. Visit us in downtown Newton or online at acuiowa.org. It's a game winner at ACU.
Member NCUA.
Until next time, Grout is out. See ya.